Do you know what? Looking at him, I know how he feels after the drinks last night. So we've seen this before. We've seen My Body, but we're on the Gibson stands and we're going to find something new here. And here are two people busy at work, playing their games. I like that because I love a board game. I have got Nick and Nicki from Gibson Games. No Mr. G today.
We've given him the day off.
Given him the day off.
Well, he claims to be in the office, but
right. I think he's left Olympia so he can watch Toy Fair TV all day. That's what I think. Hello, Mr. G. Send him a love. Right, so we are playing here a Sherlock Holmes board game.
221B Baker Street.
Yep.
Which has been in our catalogue for quite some years, and last year we decided to give it a bit of a revamp and bring it up to date. So we've got.
I wonder why you did that.
So we've got a lovely shiny new box, but the game inside is the same effectively. We've got 75 whole case cards which we read out at the beginning of the game, and they tell you who's been murdered and where they've been found, and some clues and some hints. And then you have to set off with your Sherlock around the board, and as you stop at each location, you can look up on the back of the case card. It will give you a number for that location. So the carriage depot is number 58. I will look up number 58 in the clue book. I will secretly write down what that clue is because I don't want any of my other fellow Sherlocks to know what my clue is. And then basically the first person to collect enough clues from going around the board to think they've solved the case gets to pronounce.
What I like about this is, like another certain a board game which is on a murder or something, that's always the same scenario, isn't it? It's always the same way to solve a case. What I like about this is there's different cases, there's different ways done, which is really, really, really good.
It's highly complex, and in adding new cases, as Nicki did, a lot of work was done in linking those, making sure that the clues match the cases, because it's actually it was a very complex thing to do, and this huge book as well, underscoring it.
I'm really pleased that this was the case book because I thought they were in instructions at first. And I was like, oh.
There are some instructions in there, so it's not as frightening as it looks. It really is a case of reading this. So this is the adventure of the unholy man, and a strange preacher has come to town. And you read it through, and you have to, and it might say that the Duchess of Talcourt accompanied the victim to the theatre. So you might think, oh, let's go to the theatre because there'll be a good clue at the theatre, or there might be no clue at the theatre.
You should do like a Toy Fair team, like themed case or something like the case of Kensington and Olympia. Yeah. Someone had a BAP from the in-house catering, and actually that's not saying anything bad about the catering. Just saying that there. Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good.
So, yeah, we've had really good success with that.
And you've got this as a card game as well.
We've also back out of our back catalogue, brought back to life our Sherlock Holmes card game.
A lot of that happening this year. Some back to life in, like lots of different stands. A lot of retroness going on.
Well, also, I think, just realising that people aren't just... It's not all about technology, and I think there are a lot of good games in people's back catalogues that might not have been on the market for 10 years, 15 years, but are still relevant and really good to play. And when we sat down and played this again to see whether we wanted to redo it, we were pleasantly surprised at how playable it was. It's really just based on a card game where you have some villains in the pack of cards.
And so it's a completely different game.
Completely different. It's just Sherlock based. Okay. So you deal all the cards out, and basically you don't want to be left with a villain. So one of the cards might say you can pass a card to the player on your left, and obviously you'll try and sneak a villain. If you've got villain in your hand, you'll try and sneak it off to the next player so that you're not left with it because he's worth 50 points. And
brilliant!
It's quite simple. It just happens to be Sherlock through the theme.
Nice that you've reissued it. Always go to show you. Check what's in your cupboard. You never know what's laid.
We've got plenty more.
Yeah, really. Oh, that's good to hear.